Our sun, just one of billions of stars in our galaxy, just one of billions of galaxies in the universe. Are we really alone?
Estimate of the situation.
The space race, presented to the public as a straightforward battle of wills between the US and the Soviet Union, was not all it seemed. More cooperation than competition. All of the early successes were achieved by the Soviet Space Agency, but a closer look at the history shows the two sides taking it in turns to score points, or more accurately, to reach goals along the way to space and moon exploration, ultimately resulting in manned missions to the moon. But serious researchers have many questions about the way the events were presented to us. Could there be some ulterior motive for the immense effort and seeming hurry with which the project was undertaken? Rumors abound about President Kennedy's attempts to join forces with the USSR. Was there some rush to find something they expected? If so, questions about Apollo footage would make sense. Once explored and sampled, there would be no need to keep going back. Some imagine alien bases, others see ancient structures in the NASA imagery. Even Russian scientists reported seeing apparently artificial objects.
At Cape Kennedy, the familiar shape on the launch pad, a symbol of the space age. The familiar countdown, the signal for a beginning. But the real beginnings of this mission, any mission, go back in time. A time when only the dreamers, the visionaries, could guess at what lay ahead. By official reckoning, the beginning was in 1958. The first small steps, legislation, a new agency, a table of organization, and a determination to make it all work in a way never dreamed of before. The early dreamers and visionaries started the momentum. Two brothers from Dayton soaring above a lonely beach in powered flight. A professor from Massachusetts firing off a rocket. They started the excitement, and it was a long time subsiding.
I had to wait a few moments before it took off. So naturally, that was a frightening thing, simply because I was watching anything go wrong. But it didn't. It took off and began to climb higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. Light continued all over until you could see in every direction until finally it diminished and diminished and diminished. And night gradually came back, and the stars gradually returned to the sky. And the sea gradually grew black. Nothing stopped, little by little, until finally Apollo 17 was just a bright star in the sky, moving, growing dimmer, dimmer, until one couldn't be sure which star it was, and all the rest was gone. science fiction writer, as far as I knew, ever dreamed that the first step on the moon would be visible on television back on Earth. We always had the notion that they would reach the moon and that man would know about it only when they came back and told them. So, you know, there are limits to the ability to predict. And in general, where we're not being completely fantastic, we are hopelessly conservative.
The program did work. It is working. In less than 2 decades, an orbiting laboratory circled the Earth, its crew conducting scientific research and performing experiments, testing the limits of human endurance for long periods in space, duplicating scenes science fiction writers described years earlier. In less than 2 decades, the space program has reached a level of precision, of almost flawless routine performance. But such routines rarely generate the excitement, the glamour of previous years. Previous years when a small single satellite could command giant double headlines, holding out the promise of dazzling achievements.
Then, to compound suspicions, the Soviet Union repeated all of America's results, using unmanned craft, remote-controlled rovers and rocket retrieval. Recently, the Dutch discovered that the moon rock sample given to them by NASA was in fact petrified wood. Why would they need deception to hide mundane lunar material? Surely, prehistoric extraterrestrial ruins wouldn't be a threat to the authorities. But it is easy to see why alternative cultures in proximity to Earth could be.
This postulation now is not based on the anecdotes, film, video, and data previously assembled, but rather on the United States government's own NASA footage, photographed by the astronauts themselves on numerous space shuttle missions.
Atomic energy, the hydrogen bomb, flying saucers, and now, secrets beyond belief from the red planet Mars.
For centuries, science has studied Mars, the only planet where life may exist.
In past years, many people believed that Mars held an alien civilization. Astronomical drawings of linear features were interpreted as canals, moving water from the polar caps to parched desert cities. The space age shattered this illusion. The Mariner series of spacecraft showed us a barren, cratered surface and a cold, thin atmosphere. But they also revealed a complex planet with giant volcanoes, huge canyons, and dry riverbeds. Viking data showed that Mars contained every resource needed to sustain life. Its instruments searched for microscopic life forms in the Martian soil. But no evidence of life was found. And yet, Mars is the most Earth-like planet. While there may be no indigenous life on Mars, there is one life form that could survive there.
Behind the headlines, the accomplishments, there was something else. Consider the thoughts of a modern-day visionary, Isaac Asimov, scientist, writer, eclectic watcher of space progress.
In any consideration of the space program, It's best not to look upon it as a succession of spectaculars, I think, or to think of it as a kind of baseball game in which that side wins who hits the most home runs. We're doing something in space that's more important than the personalities involved or the individual feats.
NASA, as the most public of all the space agencies, still have motives that have not been revealed to the public. From the blatant declaration of the Mercury missions, to the occult symbolism of Apollo, what was the message and who was the recipient? Did Mercury, the winged messenger, receive an answer? And is communication still going on without the public's consent or knowledge? We may never know.